continues fatal crash investigation. Glassell Street shut down both directions between Taft Avenue and Grove. Use Tustin or Batavia instead. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robert Dubucky.
With temperatures heating up, water is on everybody's mind here in SoCal, so let me tell you about LifeSource Whole House Water Systems. Tina and I got ours years ago. Why? Well, because we wanted what everybody wants from the water in their house. You want to go to a faucet, any faucet, turn it on, and have come out clean, delicious drinking water. No chlorine, no harsh chemicals, all brought to you by a 5-star customer service rated company. End of story. LifeSource Whole House Water Systems use proprietary technology. They are completely free. That's why LifeSource is recognized as America's most recommended water system. And right now, in celebration of the 4th, LifeSource will pay your sales tax. You can take advantage of huge savings, but this offer ends soon. So act today. Source water at 800-803-2696, 800-803-2696, or visit lifesourcewater.com. LifeSource Water. Taste and feel the difference.
Southland weather from KFI. Cloudy in the morning, then partly cloudy near the coast in the afternoon. Upper 60s to low 70s at the beaches, low to upper 80s in metro LA and OC, upper 80s to mid 90s in the inland valleys, and low to upper 90s in the Inland Empire. Temperatures are going to climb a few degrees in the coming week. Right now it's 66 degrees in Irvine, 65 in Fountain Valley, 64 in Culver City, and 64 in Inglewood. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Brian Berman.
Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my mind, not the way that I do love you. Holy moly, me oh my, you're the apple of my eye. Boy, I never loved one like you. Man, oh man, you're my best friend, screaming to the nothingness. There ain't nothing that I need. Heavy pumpkin pie, chocolate candy, cheese and fries. Ain't nothing please me more than you. Oh, when we come home, yeah, home is wherever I'm with you. Oh, when we come home, home is wherever I'm with you.
KFI, AM 640, welcome home, where every week we help you better understand that place where you live. I am Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer, custom home builder, custom home designer, here with you live, like I am every weekend. Saturdays from 6 to 8, Sundays from 9 to 11. What are we all about? I'm here to help you with your home. Bottom line, from construction issues to design mentoring, because when it comes to transforming that place where you live, you know, design matters most. But mostly, I'm just here to be a friendly voice in your morning, help you build yourself a more beautiful home, I hope, a more beautiful life, and to do it all more affordably and more artfully than you ever imagined. On the along the road of doing renovation and addition or new home building, permits are a necessity. We're having a discussion about the permitting process this morning. Very exciting, I know. We're making it as interesting as possible. But right now, we're in the middle of taking calls. So we're going to go back to the phones before we get back to our permits. And I want to find out what's going on with your home a little bit more. Marlene, welcome home.
Hey, so I've got a question about pulling up some carpet, but a little background. I've had a problem with indoor flying dark rover ants that were identified by vector control. And I guess they just come up through the foundation and the walls. I've had professional exterminators, and finally we identified where they were coming in a crack in the wood trim around the trim of the window. And I put some white wood filler in there. 3 weeks later, they came in again. Again, I found an area, and I put some wood filler there. So here's the question. I noticed it's quite dark along the base of the wall where it meets the carpet in 2 spots. Is it a bad idea to kind of pull up the carpet and have the exterminator put some powder in there? As far as will the carpet start being really loose once I've done that?
Okay, so yeah, so here's the thing. if you are handy, okay, then pulling up the carpet, not the end of the world. Here's the trick with carpet, though. To get it back down just right, you're going to want to use a carpet kicker and a little tucking tool, both of which you can rent at your local tool rental place for just a few dollars. The carpet kicker is that little device that, well, I don't even know how to describe what it looks like. It's got some spikes on the front end. It's got a rubber pad on the back where you would literally like bump your knee into it a little bit. What it's going to do, because here's the situation, Marlene. The tack strip that runs along, that's nailed down into your floor, that runs along the edge, that tack strip, that thin little wooden strip that has all the little spikes sticking up on it, that's what's holding the carpet edge nice and taut and firm right against the wall there. That tack strip, its spikes are facing out towards the wall. So the carpet needs to be stretched just a smidge and then laid down spikes so that the spikes catch it and hold it in a firm position. So pulling the carpet up relieves a little bit of pressure on it, and just laying it back down again may, not always, depending on how much of the edge you pull up, but laying it back down in place may cause it to be a little looser than you wanted it to be. But it doesn't require a professional carpet installer to get in there and do it right, because one of those little bumper guys, I mean, literally, we're talking about just stretching it out maybe an eighth to a quarter of an inch with those little kicker stretchers, and then the little tool just to tuck it in underneath the edge of the baseboard, in between the tack strip and the baseboard. It's not that hard to do. People can learn how to do it in about 3 minutes time, and that way you could pull up the edge of the carpet, not worry about it, put a little bit of whatever you want down there under the pad. I would recommend like diatomaceous earth, because it's non-toxic, but it becomes a barrier that little rover ants like that, they just don't want to cross it, because it dehydrates them and dries them out. And then you could lay the carpet back down. But I feel for you, because rover ants, by the way, everybody, are those super teeny, tiny, like 1/16 of an inch long ants that just get into everything. And once they've decided to get into your house, it seems like just virtually impossible to stop them, because, I mean, they're small enough, they'll crawl in between the concrete and the plate of your walls. You don't have to have gaping holes for rover ants to get in. That's why it's usually best to do as much work on the outside of the house as possible. Just as an FYI, I mean, we have a rover ant issue from time to time at our little guest house in the back of our property, and what we do is we'll take the diatomaceous earth and go around the property. It looks like we're doing we're prepping for a seance or something, or we're trying to eliminate ghosts from the house, because we're putting this white ring around our property. But it's really just diatomaceous earth designed to stop the ants from coming in and possessing our home. But that's it for the carpet, Marlene. Don't be afraid to pull it back, but just have the right tool to put it back in place.
And what kind of places rent those carpet kicker and tucking tools?
You know what? Any tool rental yard, literally any tool rent. I mean, most Home Depots these days have a tool rental area connected to them. If your local Home Depot has a tool rental, they're going to have a carpet kicker there.
Oh, okay, got it. All right.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for your call. Great question. Good luck with that. Ants. Oh, ants. Tina, there are two insects. Now, Tina is a nature lover. She truly is. Truly. She likes bugs. She doesn't mind bugs. Spiders. She loves spiders. Her brother's definitely afraid of them, but Tina loves spiders. But ants and June bugs. Ants because they're so damn annoying, right? Also, I don't think she has any use for mosquitoes, but they don't bother her. They bother me. But ants hates them. Also June bugs. Why? Because they're stupid. Here's my wife. They're adorable little bugs. They're basically just brown ladybugs, right? I mean, they're no different than a ladybug. They're just a tiny little nubbin beetle, right? But they will fly at your face without realizing that it's you. And as a result, Tina dislikes them because they're stupid. Tina, I just feel like you're having an issue with someone with a mental deficiency.
It's July, and they're out. Why? They're June bugs. They missed the mark completely.
She's like, listen, get a calendar. If you're going to call yourself a June bug, have a little self-respect and go away in July. All right, y'all. When we come back, let's talk about permits a little bit more. We should. Well, we should. We will. I'm so glad you joined me this morning. So much more to come. You are home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Brian Berumen has the news.
Well, the trial over photos shared by the Sheriff's Department employees from the crash site that killed Kobe Bryant has been delayed to next month over COVID concerns at the court. There will be music and celebrations at a sold-out event for the opening of the 6th Street Viaduct in downtown L.A., and the old and unused Gerald Desmond Bridge in Long Beach is going to be demolished throughout the weekend. We're going to take a look at some trouble on the 5 next.
Remodeling your kitchen, it's a big deal. There are a lot of moving parts, literally and figuratively both. Kitchens are the heart and soul of our homes, which is why you can't get ready, and no matter how ready you think you are, you're not ready until you have been to the kitchen store. Now, I say that in all seriousness. I start all of my clients off at the kitchen store because I want to inspire them. I want them to have a sense of what's really available. Afterwards, I always hear the same thing. Oh my gosh, Dean, we had no idea. So many door styles, colors, finishes, so much storage we can achieve in a 21st century cabinet, so many configurations and accessories and options. That's right. That's why a great kitchen starts at the kitchen store. 7,000 square feet of pure inspiration waiting for you right off the 405 in Culver City. And so is a totally free in-showroom consult with an expert kitchen designer. The kitchen store has 12 months same as cash financing, pricing that beats the big boxes, state-of-the-art computer design. They got everything you need. So start your new kitchen right. Set up a free consult by dialing 310-KITCHEN. That's 310-KITCHEN. And check them out on the web at 310kitchen.com.
Taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got a crash on the 5.
It's in Commerce, the 5 South transition to the 710 South is blocked here. It's got you jammed back to Calzona. On the northbound side of the 5 through Commerce, a separate problem at Washington, just before Washington Boulevard. It's stalled. Truck in the left lane had you slow starting around Garfield. And still working on this problem in Orange. It's the fatal crash investigation. Glassell Street shut down both directions between Taft Avenue and Grove. Take Tustin or Batavia instead. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robert Dubucky.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. There is still time to shop Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Hurry in and save up to $500 on select mattresses from top brands. Plus, get a free adjustable base up to a $499 value with qualifying purchase. This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm.
Everybody needs an edge. The other guy is working on his edge right now, whether you have one or not. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low historically, and individual T levels in men decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called CHOQ. CHOQ. 100% natural herbal extracts with game-changing effects on your energy, mood, and focus. CHOQ Daily's main ingredient has been clinically studied to boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity with higher T and a massive boost of energy by taking CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack every day. Take the 90-day CHOQ Challenge and reap the benefits of the reigning champion of natural men's health with CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack. For a very limited time only, CHOQ, CHOQ, is giving our listeners a 30% discount with promo code USA. That's CHOQ.com, code USA, for 30% off while supplies last.
You're always using your personal information for just about everything, especially when you're online. And with all that information floating around out there, it can make the internet a practical gold mine for identity thieves to steal your identity. Well, now it's easy to protect yourself with LifeLock. This is what I do. LifeLock by Norton. LifeLock monitors your information and alerts you to potential identity threats, and there's lots of them out there. And if you're a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix your problem. Identity thieves have had it way too easy for far too long. Now it's your turn. No one can prevent all ID theft or monitor every transaction at every business, but Save up to 25% off your first year with LifeLock. Call 800-LifeLock. Use the promo code HANDLE, 800-LifeLock, promo code HANDLE, or visit LifeLock.com, promo code HANDLE. 25% off your first year, LifeLock.
Each week on the Martha Stewart podcast, the woman who's done it all, from TV to magazines to radio and more, engages in intimate, in-depth interviews with some of the world's most fascinating people.
Every time I go anywhere, all they want to know is how's Snoop.
You don't think I get approached all the time by people that say, do you think you can get me a picture of Martha? You think you can get an autograph?
Listen to the Martha Stewart podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Home prices and home equity are at all-time highs, but that won't last forever. Before the Fed hikes rates again, and they said they will, convert your home equity to cash, pay off high-interest debt, or create a safety net for the unexpected with a strong home equity loan, HELOC, or cash-out refi. And Strong Home Mortgage can close in as little as 21 days. Call 1-800-CASH-OUT or visit 1-800-CASH-OUT.com. 1-800-CASH-OUT. Your equity unleashed.
Strong Home Mortgage LLC, NMLS number 1675638. Loans made or arranged pursuant to a California financing law license. Regulated by DFPI. Loan subject to qualification. Equal housing lender.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation and discreet shipping if prescribed. Love your results or your money back. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
As a marketer, you want to reach everyone. Adults, teens, millennials. But it's not like these groups all hang out in the same place, right? Actually wrong. They're all right here, listening to radio commercials just like this one. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to all in one place? Visit iHeartAdvertising.com and get AM/FM working for you. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
I just love me a summer vacation, or staycation, or playcation. Call it whatever you want, because I can do all three right here in Morongo. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo. Number 5.
Cool down at the hottest pool party under the stars. DJs, drink specials. It's Flamingo Fridays at Oasis Pool.
Number 4.
Snack bar giveaway. Get a poppin' popcorn maker when you earn 500 points on your reward card. The 11th or 12th.
3.
Morris Day Live. Saturday, July 9th. Get your tickets now.
And the number 2.
Every half hour, 2 lucky players will win $500 cash playing table games with their rewards cards. Wednesday and Thursdays, noon to 10 p.m.
And the number 1 reason.
The reviews are in, and the new all-you-can-eat marketplace is absolutely delicious. You gotta go.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Good time.
Well, the weather's warming up and the days are getting longer, so it's time to ditch that extra baggage. Did you know that donating your old car or damaged car to Cars for Kids can take about 2 minutes? Fill out the easy forms at carsforkids.org or call them 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Cars for Kids will arrange for you to receive a tax deduction and a vacation voucher, so you'll be all set. Avoid the hassle of selling the car yourself. Just go to carsforkids.org today. And remember, that's Cars with a K.
There's a lot of things that I was like, as a kid that I really love now. Weird things like minced meats, double ham. Now I want that on a cracker.
The Fork Report with Neil Saavedra this afternoon at 2 on KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
Sharp, the House Whisperer, at your service. Hey, thanks for joining us on the program today. We're talking about permits. We're going to get to it in just a second, but first, it's time for another House Call with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Today's House Call brought WDC Kitchen and Bath Center. I just thought I would mention the 4 kinds of sinks that you can have at your disposal if you're thinking about changing out a sink. Now, there are thousands and thousands of sinks out there, and when I say 4 kinds, I mean the way that they relate to the countertop. You got overmount, undermount, vessel, and partially recessed sinks. These are your options. The overmount sink is usually the easiest to install because it has that lip. It just sits on top of the countertop, but in most cases, easy in this case equals least attractive and least functional, because you want to brush water off into the sink, off from the countertop. You get that lip there in your way, so you're not going to be able to do that. You know, it's not that they don't work. They work just fine, but they're not super popular these days. Until recently, the unrivaled king of custom sinks is the undermount sink. This gets mounted underneath the countertop, and there's nothing in the way up on top. It's also the trickiest to install, but the most functional and the least intrusive. I said until recently the unrivaled king because lately, vessel sinks have all undermounts off the top of the hill. Vessel sink is kind of just what it sounds like. It looks like a bowl of some sort, just sitting on your countertop, but it's in actuality a sink. They're sexy, they're light, they're airy. They actually, some of them provide you more counter space, but they're high up. The edge is high up. So if you got a shorty that you're designing the bathroom for, you got to take into account the fact that not only do you have your countertop, but the edge of the sink could be 6-8 inches higher up above the counter. So here's the final, which is the semi-recessed vessel sink, which is, you know, a vessel sink that's kind of an overmount. It sits down partially into the hole on the counter. So it's a vessel sink, but it only, a couple, 3 inches. Anyway, those are your 4 main kinds of sinks. As always, educate yourself, get out there, find out what's available so that you know which move you want to make. And where can you go to find all 4 of these sinks? Your local WDC Kitchen and Bath Center. Ba-boom. There you go. All right. Back to permitting. Step 3. Now, what was step 1 and 2, Dean? Step 1 was finding out if your project needs a permit. Step 2, always starting with the first circle of compliance, like HOAs and things like that, okay? CC&Rs, covenants, codes, and restrictions. Let's say we've gotten past all that. Now, we got to talk to the big boys downtown. Make an appointment with your local planning or zoning department to sit down and discover all the limitations imposed upon your property and all the various entities that have jurisdiction over your project. There is no replacement for this. And I personally just assign this to your designer or your architect or your builder. You should be involved in this process. You should start your process knowing that where all of the edges of the project really are. So I always encourage homeowners, stay involved, get down of this. Now, if you want to bring your contractor with you, or you want to go with your architect or your designer, great. Well, be there. So you can ask questions too, because it's your home, and ultimately, it's your property. And all it really takes is one appointment with the zoning or planning department to figure out what all is involved. And your local planning department should happily entertain that appointment with you, okay? Now, they might start talking mumbo-jumbo, in other words, a lot of technical stuff, and start throwing that. And at that point, you just have to say, hey, I know nothing. Please explain that in plain English to me. And you know what? They will. They really will. No, really, they will. But there are a lot of possible restrictions and compliances on your property. You need to find out. It's way beyond just codes, okay, of how to build the house right. There's restrictions on square footage, on how high you can build in your neighborhood, the contours of your house in your neighborhood, how much grading can you do on your property, what are the setbacks, what energy compliance rules are in place. That affects how many windows you can have, by the way. Combustible materials, utilities, open space, wildlife, urban interface areas, high fire exposure areas, neighborhood averages. And what's a neighborhood average? The setback on your property may not be a fixed number. It may be an average of the setback of the property to the left of you and the property to the right of you. You got to find out what these things are. View restrictions, right? There may be view restrictions. You want to build a 2.5-story house, but none of your neighbors have a 2-story house. There may be some zoning issues saying you can't do that because you're going to block their view, and so on and so forth, right? Entities other than the building department also may have jurisdiction over your project. The planning department, the hillside commission, the coastal commission, what else? School districts, I already mentioned them. Fire departments, state ordinances, county ordinances, city ordinances, voter-initiated ordinances. They can all have an impact on what you can do with your property. Okay, ba-boom. When we come back, we'll talk about, now that you know what you've learned from the planning department, how do you begin putting plans together? We'll discuss that and much more when we return. You're home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer, Brian Baroon.
The 4 men have been charged in connection with one of the largest meth busts in San Diego County. Police say the defendants from Tijuana were allegedly spotted unloading dozens of boxes from a truck on Thursday in National City. The boxes contained more than 5,000 pounds of meth. The U.S. Attorney's Office charged them with federal drug trafficking counts yesterday. A law professor at the University of Baltimore has questioned whether President Biden's executive orders on women's reproductive health care protects women who want to travel out of state to get an abortion.
What we're hearing in terms of states banning travel for abortion is setting up a conflict between state law and federal law.
Kimberly Whaley says the Constitution has been construed for more than a century by the Supreme Court as protecting the right to travel between states. Whaley says it could be something lawyers would go to court for to say someone has the right to travel under the Constitution.
I don't write nothing down, so I'll keep this short and sweet. You're weak, you're out of control, and you become an embarrassment to yourself and everybody else.
Actor Michael Imperioli has paid tribute to his Sopranos co-star Tony Sirico, who died. Sirico was best known for his role as Paulie on the HBO series. Imperioli said the star was irreplaceable and a dear pal. Sirico's manager said the actor died yesterday in an assisted living facility in Fort Lauderdale. He was 79. And legendary guitarist Carlos Santana has postponed 6 more shows of his Miraculous Supernatural tour to take care of his health. His manager announced that the musician needed to recover yesterday. On Tuesday, Santana collapsed from heat exhaustion during an outdoor show in Michigan. Santana is currently touring with Earth, Wind & Fire. Santana's management says shows scheduled after July 23rd are still a go. Taking a look at KFI traffic, we are going back to this crash on the 5.
In Commerce, on the southbound side of the 5, the transition to the 710 south is partially blocked here. It's a big rig on the transition road as well as an overturned SUV up the embankment. Overall delayed on the 5 south starting back before Calzona. Northbound side of the 5 through Commerce, just before Washington Boulevard. Stalled truck in the left lane as you slow from Garfield. And now in South LA on the 110 northbound at MLK Junior Boulevard. It's a crash blocking the off-ramp, causing delays back to Slauson. We also have this ongoing investigation of a fatal crash in Orange. Glassell Street shut down both directions between Taft and Grove. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robert Bucky.
All right, let's talk about my solar company, Sunlux. I'm very proud of them. They're my solar company because they're a sponsor of the show, but also because their system is sitting up on my roof and on the roof of every design client of ours who wants solar. We recommend Sunlux because we think they're the best around. And I'm not alone in that thought. Tesla has just released an entire residential solar ecosystem, arguably the best solar ecosystem on the planet for houses. But they've only done it through